have an interview with somebody who doesn't have the same ideas about fitness and health that I've been promoting on this channel, but that's okay. Hi, welcome back to Love, Laugh, and Lose Weight. I'm Leanne, your host. It's nice to hear from somebody from the other side of the tracks. We're going to call it the dark side of the tracks and hear what he has to say, and it ain't going to be the same as what I've been espousing. So, stay tuned for that interview. Hi, Chaz. Thanks so much for agreeing to be interviewed today.
I'm happy to talk about it. It would have had to have been quite a while, probably when I was a young man, like in my 20s or something. Well, I mean, back then I was pretty thin. I only weighed 160 or 180 pounds. And when I was in college, I used to go on these bicycle rides all around Minnesota. And I went for my longest one was 60 or 70 miles in a day. And then I felt pretty good. My wife likes to go for walks, and sometimes it just seems like it's a little bit hard on me to keep walking when she wants to. She really likes to walk, and she counts her steps. Most of my activities, I'm lucky. Most of the things that I enjoy doing are things that don't require physical fitness. Mm-hmm. I like to watch sporting events on TV. I'm big into the church. I like to play bridge. None of those really require a lot of physical fitness.
Okay. And I know that recently, about a year ago, you were on a certain diet. I can't remember what it was called. Can you tell us about it?
Well, sure. I'll be happy to talk about that diet. It's called a ketogenic diet, and I had a good. Let me just give some background here. I had a bad back, and I went to a chiropractor, my regular chiropractor, and he had a sidekick who was a personal trainer and nutritionist person. He said, well, let's talk about diet. And I said, you know what? Every nutritionist I've talked to always talks about vegetables. I hate vegetables. I will not eat vegetables. And so I thought that would be the end of the conversation, because I'd never talked to any nutritionist or any person who wasn't always pushing vegetables. And he said, you know what? He said, bring me in a list of foods you like. So I brought in my list of foods.
What was on it?
Oh, there was meats and cheeses and cakes and all sorts of. But there was some fruit, and there was some eggs, and there were some dairy products. But there was nary a vegetable to be found.
Keto, you don't have to have vegetables.
No, and in fact, he said it's a no-carb diet. He said you're not allowed to have any carbohydrates, which means that I could eat all the meat I want, all the cheese I want, all the seafood I want.
But what about fruit?
No. Fruit has fructose in it, which is a sugar, which is a carbohydrate.
That's true.
So I can't have that.
So on this diet, you ate neither fruit nor vegetables.
Right.
So how long were you on this thing?
Well, I was on it for about 7 or 8 months. And overall, the thing I liked about it was that I could eat as much as I want. And so I was never hungry. I don't want to go on diets if I'm hungry. I won't stay on them.
So why did you stop?
Well, I had been on it now my main doctor did not approve of this at all.
Right. I think most of my audience wouldn't approve of it, but I know you loved it.
Right, because it worked for me. And furthermore, as it so happened, I lost about, I don't know, I actually lost 35 pounds over the course of about 7 months.
Yes, but how much of that 35 pounds did you keep off?
Well, when I went off the diet, and here's the key thing, when I went off the diet, I really I gained about at least half of it back pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Because basically, this diet is not sustainable, in my opinion, for the rest of my life, because this diet is not sustainable. This diet is not sustainable. Because I can't believe that it's good for me to never eat any fruit again or any grain again for the rest of my life. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm
Right.
sure that's not a good idea.
Right. So what was the goal of this diet? Was the goal long-term effects?
The goal of the diet was weight loss, and it was combined with this exercise regimen. And the doctor did say this is a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess once I lost the weight, then the problem was I never figured out a way to maintain, to switch to some other kind of maintenance, some kind of maintenance program.
Now let's just say that a balanced diet, but it's not as much fun because you don't have your cookies and your cakes and all that, but that the balanced diet would make you live 10 years longer and 10 healthy, active years. Would that, if you knew that that was the magic bullet, would it be worth it to you or not?
That's a really good question. Somehow or other, I've made it to age 62 without any ill effects from my diet.
Well, you don't know. There could be ill effects that haven't shown up yet.
Well, that's definitely true. But I'm talking about in terms of anything that really has interfered with, I've been and not made me sick or anything like that, or where I was an invalid, or had, like, I don't have diabetes or some other things that you get, or heart attacks or things that you get from bad diets.
So it does sound like you were kind of blessed with a pretty good body.
Oh, and I happen to have been blessed with a good one.
Yeah.
Watch the videos, and I agree with the premise of, I agree with a lot of the premises of them. One of which being, the most important of which being, that it's a lifestyle change, and it should incorporate both diets and some type of physical activity. And what I really like about the videos that I've seen is that your videos do not require some radical thing. And the keto diet is radical.
Yeah.
Your videos don't require a radical thing, and you take people where they are, and you gradually get them into more physical activity and being a little bit more, or depending on where they are, maybe a lot more health conscious about balanced diets and all that.
Okay, but although you like it, you've told me personally, not in this interview, that it's not something that you would do.
Right, it's not something that I would do because I don't want to eat vegetables. My wife is always eating these vegetables, some of with the names I can't even spell. And I know that I've tasted them. She always offers them to me. I've tasted them, and I don't want them.
One more thing, can you talk about your back problems?
Yeah, I've had back problems over the years, and that's how I started going to the chiropractor. But I had them when I was a lot thinner.
So it had nothing to do with your stomach protruding?
No, and my stomach does protrude. I mean, if you take a side profile of me...
Oh yeah, that's a protrusion.
That's a protrusion. It's not quite so visible on a straight-on film, but yeah, it protrudes. In fact, that's what I told the chiropractor at one point. I said, I think my back is out of whack because my stomach is enlarged, and that puts an undue strain on it. And he said, no, that wasn't the case.
Oh.
Because the x-rays that he took and the history of me, he knows that I have a lot of degeneration of my lumbar region of my spine.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, Chaz, I really appreciate you coming. You didn't completely, what can I say? Validate everything that I've been talking about on the channel, but that's okay because part of what we want to do is hear from people from different walks of life and have their opinions. So thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed.
I'm happy to do it, and good luck with your project, and congratulations on the progress that you've made so far.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. You've heard from a different point of view. This is not a guy that's eating his fruits and vegetables. That was for sure. And I'd really like to see how he is 10 years from now, whether he still says that his plan is the best way to be. But at least we've heard a different point of view. That's it. I hope you keep up with your health journey, and I will see you next week. Bye.